Hey, what's going on, AMP? Welcome in to a brand new episode of Snaps. We got a good one for you today. It's going to be a very quarterback-infused one, okay? Because first, we're going to discuss a little Jalen Milroe and JJ McCarthy, two quarterbacks kind of trending in opposite directions here on this week. Then, we're going to hear from the legend himself, the Longhorn legend, Colt McCoy, who's going to join us. And I mean, obviously, Colt knows quarterback. He's a man who started 53 games in college. He's a 12-year NFL vet, two-time All-American. He's got his number retired at Texas. Okay, like that's all you need to know. So talk to Colt, and then we'll wrap up with some SEC power rankings. First, though, let's welcome to the show. I'm T-Bob Hebert. This is Snaps, college football show. We hope you really enjoy it. Aaron Murray. Aaron, what's up, man? How we feeling today?
Feeling good. Excited to sit down and talk with Colt. Been trying to get him on the show, but when we're semi-retired NFL quarterback, a lot of golf, some fly fishing. So we got a hold of Colt. Perfect timing too, just to rub it in T-Bob's face some more about. I'm not going to use the language that was used on Twitter/X today, but yeah, T-Bob's mentions are just being blown up by Texas fans. Keep it coming all season long. Do not take your foot off T-Bob's throat, Texas fans. You let him have that shit all year.
Oh, my God. Where's A&M fans in your mentions? Or the Miami fans, I mean, in your mentions, dude. No, the Miami fans.
Miami fans don't care about football. That's why.
Exactly. Because the U is dead. I fucking told you.
Yes.
No,
you pick the fan base that gives a damn about football in a big way.
Unfortunately, it just feels all too much like our increasingly common wildfires. My mentions, that is. As I keep expecting it to die down, and instead, like a new gust of wind comes in, and the fire spreads and gets more violent, and the conflagration gets longer. No, my mentions are an absolute dumpster fire. But you know who else they fucking threw stones at? Okay, when he challenged people to be better than they were, Jesus. Okay. And so if this is my cross to bear for me, wanting Texas to be who Texas should be, for challenging Texas to be better than they were, if this is my cross to bear, if I have to be a martyr for this cause, so be it. So be it. I'm sorry if I want one of the best brands in college football to play like one of the best brands in college football. I'm sorry. I apologize. Hand up. That's on me. Okay. Keep throwing, because I can fucking take it. Okay. I'm here, bitch, all day. Texas look great. We've given them their roses. We've given them their roses. We'll probably do it again with Colt. Let's get to our opening comment of the day, which, by the way, this comes from our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@volumesnaps. We're pushing towards 5K. We would love to hit 5K towards the end of the week. So if you're here for the first time, or maybe you haven't yet, if you like it, subscribe. That obviously helps a ton. Rich Ryan Taylor says, this T-Bob guy is proof that just because you own a microphone doesn't mean your opinions on the topic are viable. Georgia looks horrible. They have beat the first two teams 48-7 and 45-3. This dude doesn't have a damn clue. Who did Georgia beat? Help me out here.
Ball State.
Okay. And what, UT Martin?
And UT Martin.
So have you reached such a sad, insecure place as a Georgia fan that you are championing wins over UT Martin and Ball State as things that should convince me that you look good? Get the hell out of here, Rich Ryan. I mean, look, I get it. You're not used to playing anybody with a pulse, or something like a big game's a foreign concept to you. It kind of weirds you out a little bit, but other college teams tend to play teams that are close or equal to their level. And there's actually
and they like to lose those games to set them up for the inability to make the playoffs. So some of us choose the easy route, win championships off of that. Some choose the more difficult route, put themselves in a hole. It's okay, Tigers. It's okay. Don't worry. T-Bob will get his after Georgia takes down them Gamecocks this weekend. Don't worry. I'll let him know.
What you think beating a South Carolina team that got its fucking ass kicked by UNC? What are y'all gonna win, like 38-7? And you're gonna be like, oh my God, we're so good. Get the hell out of here.
I'll reiterate what I said in yesterday's show. I tried to defend Georgia's schedule about a month ago. like deep down inside, I knew it's somewhat easy. And it just, you look at the first 2 weeks of the season, and it's easier than what we thought it was 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's easier than we thought it was 4 weeks ago, which is sad.
The SEC sucks. I hope the whole
It does
SEC
suck.
burns down.
It sucks.
Oh my God. Georgia's 27.5-point favorites. But yes, tell me more, Aaron Murray, about how this is going to be such a challenging game.
This is the moment Spencer Rattler makes his Heisman move right here this weekend.
Spencer Rattler actually did really well.
He's played great
North Carolina. Yeah, considering he was just getting effed up. Like, yeah. Why did I randomly censor myself there? Okay, speaking of quarterbacks, good on Spencer Rattler. 2 different quarterback topics I want to hit before we get to Cole. First, and going 2 opposite directions. One, about some talk out there, Dan Mullen and Matt Berry putting it out there that they kind of don't think Jalen Milroe is going to be the long-term guy this season for Alabama. I find that to be a bit interesting. The second topic, opposite direction, JJ McCarthy, who now you got Jim Harbaugh out here compared JJ McCarthy to Andrew Luck, not content with saying Josh Allen or Pat Mahomes earlier this offseason. Andrew Luck has now been brought into the fold as well. I mean, when I think of Mahomes, Allen, Luck, McCarthy is honestly one of the next 2 names that pops into my head. So I see where Harbaugh's coming from, but we'll get to it. Chill the fuck out, Aaron. It's called a joke. Here's my deal on Jalen Milroe. And this is also why I said Dan Mullen needs better internet, because on their podcast, his internet kept cutting out in the answer, and he has such good answers. I just want to hear every word he says. But Jalen Milroe, we know this, was not the reason you lost to Texas. Now, it was a factor. Quinn Ewers and Jalen Milroe, like the gap between the two was obvious and large, especially by games in. But so was the play by the offensive line. And it's like, if you put Tyler Buckner in that game, you're not winning. If you put Simpson in that game, you're not winning. Now, the only thing I would say is that, like, because Texas was so good in the trenches, that Milroe, especially even in that game, represented, like, without a doubt, your best option. Because, again, those other guys would have been even more disastrous, because at least Milroe could create, and you saw some of the home runs that he created in there. So, like, maybe if I wanted to play with this, Aaron, you could maybe see a job change, because, like, is there another line that's going to beat your ass in the way that Texas did the rest of this year? I don't think so on that schedule. LSU has the potential to challenge, but I got to see more out of LSU, at least defensively. So, like, but I don't know, man. I think we arrived back at your original point, which is, like, if those guys didn't beat out Milroe, maybe they're just not that good to begin with.
Yeah. And I'll say this, because there's a lot of people that are enamored with some of the deep balls that he threw in the first game, some of the deep passes that he completed in this past week. And I love a good explosive play. And you need that to keep you in games like you're going against Texas. But throwing a deep ball ain't that hard. I could find 100 people out in the street to go throw a football as far as you can, like an athletic high school quarterback, and they can throw a 60-yard bomb. Like, throwing a go ball is easy. It is. I'm just being honest. Like, that
I don't think you could find 100 people that could just launch at 60, but I feel what you're saying.
That's why I reiterate high school quarterbacks. A high school quarterback. I can find 100. I can find 100 high school quarterbacks and go out there and fling a ball 50, 60 yards and make those throws. Like that. That's easy, because you're not thinking. You're just throwing it as far as you can and saying, "Hey, my receiver's running full speed, and hopefully he's the one that comes down with it." It's the intermediate throws which make great quarterbacks. And why do we keep talking so highly about Shadir Sanders? Is because he's making those throws. Quinn Ewers does that. All those are like making the throws from 5 to 20 yards, which is what's impressed me a lot with JJ McCarthy this year. Him hitting that big dagger route in week 1, him hitting that 20-yard corner route. Like, those are the throws that make you an elite quarterback. Not the, I can throw it 60 yards, which is why so many people are so, like, anti-Joe Milton, because what do we say? Like, who cares if you can throw a ball 80 yards? If you can't hit a 10-yard stop route, I don't give a damn. I just don't. So Milroe can throw the deep ball. Cool. He can't do anything else. So that's when I will disagree with you of, if you put in one of those other 2 quarterbacks, the result would have been the same. Was Texas the better football team? Yes. And I still think Texas would have won the football game regardless of who the QB was. But I do think another quarterback would have made the game more interesting, because those guys would have been able to make the more manageable throws more consistently.
Well, they would have been able
what
to
I tell you the other day
more as well. They would have been able to get just like sacked and pressured and like what?
There were multiple times in which a 5-yard route, a 10-yard route was wide open, and Jalen got caught jacking the ball off, just jacking it and jacking it and jacking it and jacking it.
Oh, like just holding on to it, like waiting, like literally. So that's not like you're saying literally jacking the ball off, like
just
up
jacking the ball off.
Yeah, okay,
yes, like literally jacking it. He's just jacking it. Like just throw it to the open receivers. Like decision making for him, seeing the entire field. Taking, I mean, we'll hear from Colt McCoy in about 20 minutes, taking what the defense gives you. Jalen was looking for the home run. That's his mentality because he doesn't see the underneath stuff that well.
But then, but
I do think another guy would have maybe given you a better.
So how does Nick Saban not know that?
I think he does. It just goes back to maybe the fact that those other guys just suck that bad, I guess.
That's what I'm okay, but that's what I just said.
I know.
And then you were like, put one of those other guys in. It's more interesting.
I don't know. I felt like I saw enough from Ty Simpson. I do agree. Like, I don't think Buckner is the guy. Like, I saw enough of Buckner last year at Notre Dame to be like,
we have no good Buckner film. We have nothing at Notre Dame to fall back on. And
I saw good stuff from Ty in spring where I was like, I think you could build an offense around Ty Simpson. Can it win you a national championship? No, but I don't think any of these quarterbacks can win you a national championship. But at least I know a guy that can do both, because like there's the misconception of like Ty's this one-dimensional quarterback. Ty's a great athlete. Like you don't have to completely throw out the running game with Ty Simpson as your quarterback.
So you don't think that Jalen Milroe gives Alabama the best chance to win?
No.
Then what the fuck is Nick Saban doing? Then how do you square the circle of what is this staff evaluating then?
I don't know. Obviously, they see him day in and day out, so it's hard for me to like fully judge based on just seeing a spring game and some limited reps in the first game of the season for Ty Simpson. But I feel like I've seen enough from Jalen to say, let's at least give someone else an opportunity. And I do think they're going to see what Ty can do, hopefully against USF this weekend, and start to make a more definitive evaluation between the two.
So that is where it gets interesting, is that every other team remain on Alabama's schedule, maybe save again LSU, maybe, and then like SEC championship, maybe. Like every other team is not going to be able to challenge you like this Texas team did, right? So like it should be a more comfortable pocket from which to operate out of. So if you did want to try out one of these guys, like you should have maybe an easier path to success than Milroe had here early on. Again, I just can't really get past this disconnect of like, if those other guys were good enough, Milroe wouldn't be playing, right? I mean, it was even one of those ideas where I thought like, okay, if Milroe is playing, then he's definitely cut down on the turnovers, because otherwise, how in the fuck would he win the job? But he hasn't. So then, okay, so again, how do we logic that out? The other guys are worse. The other guys are worse. They're throwing more picks. Making more bad decisions. So that's what this all goes back to. Is
that Alabama could be that bad at quarterback with three quarterbacks.
That's what I say. What it goes back to then becomes a stunning commentary on how badly they have bungled the most important position in football. After having probably the best quarterback that their school's ever had, even though Nick Saban ever had. Even though I would say that
who else is better than what Bryce did for the past 3 years?
Well, I mean, I don't know, right? Like isn't Joe Namath from there? So like, I don't know. I don't know deep Alabama history. That's all I'm saying. But what I would say is that I would actually combine.
I wouldn't know that after seeing you cheer for them last week, and I thought you would have known everything.
Okay, okay, shut the fuck up. Okay, I let my ego control me.
Sorry for interrupting you.
Brumley saying Tua was better than Bryce Young. Here's the deal.
No.
I would combine though the quarterback mismanagement into the Bryce Young era, because they didn't win a natty with him. So you had the best quarterback you've ever had. You failed to win a natty 2 years in a row with him. And now you get to a point where you get to a game where like you are just clearly weak in that position, despite having three different guys. It's a shocking and stunning mismanagement from the best college football coach of all time at the most important position in college football.
It is. And you should have been able to know this after the season. Like you knew Bryce was going to go to the NFL. You should have been able to have been evaluating that quarterback position over the past, whenever both those guys got it onto campus, and said, you know what, maybe we need to go get Sam Hartman. Maybe we need to get one of these other guys to come in here and create some competition. Not, oh shit, ring the bell after spring. We're not as good as we thought we were. Now we have to go find someone in the second go round of the portal. Like,
yeah, I know. It's crazy.
The mismanagement dates back to after the season. How did you not know that there was going to be this big of a drop off between those two guys? Because you saw them every day in practice. Every day in practice.
I don't get it. I don't get it. That's why I call it
and
stunning.
If they wanted someone, like, do you think they called Sam Hartman? Do you think Sam Hartman chose Notre Dame over Alabama if he knew he could have been the starting quarterback for the Crimson Tide? Or did Alabama just say, we feel good with what we have, we don't really care that he goes to Notre Dame?
I kind of feel like they probably felt good about what they had.
That's,
I mean, maybe no, and that's like, I'm not sourcing that, right? So that is pure conjecture. Like, I don't take that as.
But if you're Sam Hartman, I'm going to Alabama, not Notre Dame, if I get an opportunity.
Duh. What do you mean? All they do is get Alabama. All they do is get quarterbacks drafted in the first round and like win championships and all this stuff. Yeah, I would say, of course. Side note here, Aaron, though, do you even watch the NFL? Tua looked way better than Bryce Young on Sunday. Okay. So how are you going to sit here and tell me that Bryce Young's a better quarterback?
Listen, I threw a touchdown to Tyreek in practice one day. I never threw another pass to him ever again because he ran through 3 defenders on a post route and just was like, okay, you're going to go with Alex Smith now. So I got one day.
So he was on the scout team for like one day. He's rep with the 2.
No, this was in OTAs. So he was with me because he just got drafted, and he had a corner post versus quarter. So he blew by, by the linebacker nickel.
This was with the 2s. I'm saying this was the second.
Yeah. And then he split the corner and safety. And my little pea rocket arm, I threw it as far as I could. I hit about 60, 65 yards. And he ran under it and was 10, 15 yards past the defenders when he caught it.
Damn.
And I looked at Nagy and I'm celebrating. And I'm looking at Reed and they're like whispering to each other. That was the last time I ever threw him a pass. Last time I ever threw him a pass.
That's an incredible story. Yeah. Okay. So give me your final answer, Aaron, because I feel like I could see Alabama experimenting because why not try to get better again? It'll be easier for whoever the quarterback is from here on out this season. But I do not believe that these other guys represent better options. Jalen Milroe.
I think you have to give it a chance. And I think you have to just run a very vanilla offense and it goes back to kind of what they want to do anyways, identity wise and I've been saying all offseason, you can't turn the ball over if you're going to try to play ground and pound type football. And that's what Jalen did. He turned the ball over twice. If you're going to try to play close games where you're going to continue to trust this offensive line and develop this offensive line, then you need a quarterback that maybe is not as talented as him, but is also not going to fuck up the game and turn it over.
True.
Like you have to weigh that this guy's better, but he's also going to give me 2 interceptions. This guy's not as good, but at least he's not going to put us in a situation where we're going to lose 14 points.
But also,
I'm going to take the guy who doesn't turn it over.
But also, Tyler Buckner has like 4 touchdowns and 5 picks in his career.
I'm not picking Buckner.
Okay, well, Simpson again, but Simpson must be turning over just as much, if not more, in practice. So. Otherwise, he would have won the job. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening there. But either way, it doesn't make even if it is Simpson, Aaron, I disagree with this notion that it makes Alabama any better. They don't beat Texas. They don't beat Texas.
No. Texas is a better football team. Texas better football team.
It doesn't make them any significantly better. Now, on the opposite side of this equation, I got the film rolling right here, kind of out the corner of my eye. JJ McCarthy. Jim Harbaugh back in the headlines as he says JJ McCarthy reminds him of Andrew Luck, kind of a once-in-a-generational talent. Now, interestingly, and again, this lines up with comments he's made in the past about him and Patrick Mahomes, him and Josh Allen. But again, for the third time now, he says these things, and people are thinking in terms of like physical talent, decision-making. And I'm sure Harbaugh's alluding to some of that. But what he immediately follows up with is basically the effect that he has on the guys in the locker room, the leadership element, the intangible elements that we're talking about when it comes to playing this quarterback position. So Harbaugh about as high on McCarthy as it is possible for a coach to be.
Well, he does get into some of the throwing, and I will agree, not in the sense of like he has elite arm talent like Patrick Mahomes or even Andrew Luck. But he does have some pretty damn good arm strength. I've been raving about him all season, or at least for the first 2 weeks of the season, of how much I've been impressed with his development of throwing the football down the field and not like the go balls or the post routes, but the 15 to 20-yard routes, the daggers.
It looks like a completely different quarterback.
Yeah, those are NFL throws. When you're throwing dagger routes and deep out routes and deep comebacks and the ball is rising instead of dying, then you're kind of like, damn, that kid's got an NFL arm. And I'm seeing that from JJ. I didn't see that last year. And a lot of it was he wasn't necessarily given the opportunity. It was run the football behind this Joe Moorhead Award offensive line. We got Blake Corum and company at running back. Like, let's do what Alabama should be doing. Let's just not lose the game by putting the ball into a quarterback that's not experienced. Well, now this season they're saying, okay, well, you are experienced. You showed us something in the end of the season versus Ohio State and even the first round playoff game when you played well in the second half, that maybe we are going to trust you, because we know if we do want to win a championship, we can't be one-dimensional. And now all of a sudden you're seeing a confident quarterback executing this offense at the moment. So I don't know his personality. I don't know what he's like in the locker room. He could be Andrew Luck in the locker room for all I know. But I will say he is more and more showing me that he is a first-round NFL talent through the first 2 weeks of the season. And say all you want about who the opponent is, it's more about when you can see a quarterback execute and the way he's executing. I really don't care who he's going against. Like, that's really good quarterback play.
Well, and it matters in the context of, because they had a shitty schedule last year as well, but he looked bad, right? Like you're talking about, they had a bad schedule, but he still looked conservative. He still looked like, don't drop the ball. He wasn't even the starting quarterback at the beginning of the year. He was bouncing back and forth. And so, now he enters the offseason. You're the guy. The trust is there. The growth is there. I still don't know what it means for when they do got to run into somebody good. How much of it carries over? Do the coaches really trust him? We will find these things out. But if you just look at last year against not good teams and this year against lesser teams, JJ McCarthy within that spectrum has improved drastically. And the film would support that. Also, East Carolina's okay, right? I mean, they've been frisky. No, are they not good this year?
Does Michigan play anyone till Penn State?
No, they're like you. Hey, look, fucking smart. Who's number 1 and 2 in the country? The two teams that are like, you know what we're going to do? Not play anything that our fans care about, because we're just going to mosey on to the playoffs.
Wow.
Y'all are the reason why TV had to hostile take over college football. So I hope you're happy.
Yeah. God, their next games are Bowling Green. They're actually going to bye this week. No, never mind. No. Bowling Green, Rutgers, at Nebraska. That looks like a cakewalk now. Yep. At Minnesota, Indiana, at Michigan State with all that shit show, Purdue. And then you go on the road versus Penn State, Maryland, and then versus Ohio State. And then probably going to face Iowa in the Big Ten championship game.
Pretty friendly, Aaron. Huh? I'd be careful now, though. You're in a glass house. I can see your fingerprints all over it. Don't cast any stones. That whole thing's going to come crashing down on you. But I guess the overall takeaway here is that I don't give a shit about JJ McCarthy. Like, is he Andrew Luck or not? What I do care about is Michigan looks like a title contender.
Yep.
UGA looks like a title contender. What's the big difference between the two teams? One has a quarterback that you feel great about. One has a quarterback that is not. I'm not going to sit here and say that Carson Beck's awful, but you're just maybe a little unsure. You're less great about Beck compared to McCarthy.
Yeah, and I think a lot of questions. I know you're giving Georgia some crap being 27.5 point favorites, but once again, like, this is still. This is going to be a test for this offense that hasn't looked super efficient. I'm sure we'll talk about it tomorrow during the breakdown a little bit, but this will be a decent test to say, like, okay, I'm not asking you to win because, like, we know Georgia's going to win, but how do you look winning? And that's why I talk about with JJ, like, how do you look when you're playing these games? And he looks dominant. Georgia's won those games, but they haven't looked dominant. Are they ready to now win football games in a dominant fashion and look like a championship contender? And Carson looked like the quarterback that I know and believe he can be. This will be the really first, in my opinion, the first time we really get to have those questions answered this weekend versus South Carolina. So we'll see. But, like, I will say this, like, I still like they're different because Michigan's running backs are far superior than Georgia's running backs. It's not even close.
Yeah, but
I will still give
on the outside are better.
Yeah, but I would still give Georgia the edge when it comes to receivers and obviously Brock Bowers. So
it's a good matchup. It's a good
great
matchup. It's funny. I look at and again, we're seeing how much quarterback matters, right? Because who are we down on? Ohio State, because you don't believe in Kyle McCord. Why are Florida State and Texas suddenly up there? Yeah, they won big games, but also you fucking love Jordan Travis. You love Quinn Ewers. Michigan, loving JJ McCarthy. Georgia, we're still a little unsure.
Why do we love the Pac-12? Why do
Yeah.
we love the Pac-12 right now?
Quarterbacks everywhere, even down
Because
to Cam
they're
Ward, who we never
loaded.
talk about. Shout out Cam Ward.
Shout out Cam Ward. Loaded with quarterbacks in that conference.
All right. Well, you know who knows quarterback play? The guy who's done it for 12 years in the league. Enjoy. Here it is. Colt McCoy on this episode of Snaps. Oh, man, everything just tastes a little sweeter. The air smells a little better. Energy's a little greater. And it's all because football is back and in full swing with another week of epic games. And can you guess who's got you covered on all the action for every single one of those games? That's right. You already know the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Okay. An official betting partner of the NFL. And once again, right now, new customers can bet just $5 on football and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. If you're signing up for the DraftKings the first time, promo code TBOB, you bet $5 on football, you get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Are you kidding me, guys? But it's not just the new customers, okay? Nobody misses out with DraftKings. In fact, all DraftKings customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every single game day this September. Just get on the app and check them out. So get in on the NFL Week 2 action with DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the app now using the promo code T-Bob, TBOB, to sign up, and you can take advantage of that incredible new customer deal, bet $5 and take home $200 in bonus bets instantly. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code T-Bob, TBOB. The crown is yours. If you got a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See dkng.co/football for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. What's going on, everyone? It is time for another Snaps guest, and I could not be more pleased. Well, I guess I could be more pleased because I'm about to get lambasted once again, but we have the Longhorn legend on himself, Colt McCoy, a man who started 53 games in college football, 12-year NFL vet, 2-time All-American, Maxwell, Davey O'Brien, Manny. He's got his number 12 retired by the Texas Longhorns. The quarterback, Colt McCoy. Colt, what's up, man? A pretty good Wednesday, pretty good week to be a Texas Longhorn fan, I'd say.
Yeah, pretty good week, man. They looked awesome down there in Titletown. Pretty proud of those guys, and yeah, it's a good week to be a Longhorn right now for sure.
And I guess for you even a little sweeter too, because of your last college game was against Alabama. You went down a year ago. Yours went down versus Alabama. All they needed was a quarterback just to stay healthy through the game. That's all it took to beat the Crimson Tide, right?
You know, the amount of calls and texts, and last year when Quinn got hurt against Alabama, that was horrible because I felt like they really had a chance. And this year he stayed healthy, and I think what you're seeing with Texas right now is like just the fruits of patience and letting Sark build a team, right? All these guys that played, a few nights ago and beat Alabama are all the same guys who played last year, right? They had some growing pains, but Sark and his staff, have been building something that they truly believe in. And I think all of that paid off, by what you saw Saturday at Alabama. And, it's hard for teams to go in there and beat a powerhouse like that at their home. Like that's really hard to do. And I think Texas just has built something pretty special, and hopefully they can keep it going.
Well, and that's something that we talked about, Monday after rewatching the game. Is the thing that jumps off the screen is not just the win, but it's kind of the sustainable elements within the win, right? Like they just dominated the trenches. And that's going to win you pretty much any football game going to be in. So I know, like, functionally, if I ask you what's the difference with this year's Texas, you could say, like, well, I mean, look at them. They're great on line of scrimmage. But is it more than that? Has there been a culture change that has taken place over the last couple of years? Because my whole deal was like, okay, don't tell me Texas talent. They've always had talent, but that's not the problem. But this year, the talent is actually effective and successful and tough. I mean, they survived some real haymakers on Saturday.
Yeah, I think, I wanted to watch, me and Hester and Bobby were talking yesterday, and like, we just wanted to see like the first couple of drives of the game and just see like the physicality, the line of scrimmage, like who's giving, who's winning that battle.
Yeah.
And it was very apparent from the beginning that Texas was not going to back down. And I think, again, I'll kind of repeat myself here, but like, it's important for teams to maybe like think about what Texas has done. Think about the staff. This is Sark's third year there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've always had talent. The talent's only going to get you so far, right? Quinn had a lot of good games last year, and he probably had some games that he wanted back. Like, he was pretty up and down, right? But it wasn't just that. It was just they were playing a lot of young guys on both fronts, right? Secondary was young. Like, there's a lot of things about that team. They got a lot of experience last year, and they lost a bunch of games late in the fourth quarter that would have changed, their win-loss record. And so, to me, like, I've seen this team, climbing and climbing and climbing. Like, and I think what you saw, on Saturday was basically that, like a team that figured out how to win in the fourth quarter, how to like put a full game together. You saw a little bit of it against Rice. And now, if I'm Texas, like, I think you just accomplished something that you've talked about for 3 years, right? You've been building for that. And now, like, okay, now that's the expectation. Let's keep that. And I think it's going to be exciting to watch. I don't think the Big 12's that good. And I think they have a chance to do something pretty special after that.
Listen, I got Texas going against Georgia in the national championship this year. So I'm all about a little burnt orange and a red and black in that natty. Another reason why Texas is the line of scrimmage play, and you kind of brought up yours a little bit. Man, the way he anticipates throwing the football is next level. I mean, he just lets it rip. And he knocked a tight end in the head the other day in the first game versus Rice. But, like, you better tell those guys, man, when I hit my back step, you better get that head around. What is his pro potential? And is he the best quarterback Texas has had since you?
I think you watch Quinn, and there's not a throw that he can't make. And, that's one of the things that Sark had been telling me for a while. And, like, you look at the Rice, you look at some games last year, like, he's not scared to push the ball down the field, and Sark's nature is to be aggressive. And I think if you're Quinn, like, you look at the guys that are around you, the skill guys. You got 3 backs who are like plug and play, and they're all great. You got receivers on the outside who can all have speed and all got great ball skills. They can go get deep balls, keep taking their shots. You got a tight end who'd probably be a top first or second round pick in the NFL whenever he wants to come out. And then you got a young offensive line who's playing good. Like, if I'm Quinn and starts coaching him up, I'm saying keep taking shots, keep being aggressive. Like, you don't have to win the games. Just execute the offense. When it's time to take a shot, take a shot. We need to check it down. Like, we're going to stay ahead of the chains in the run game and make this as simple as possible for Quinn, because there's not a throw that he can't make. And I felt like, the risk-reward factor with playing quarterback, Aaron, you know what I'm talking about? Like, I felt like Quinn nailed that Saturday night. Like, he knew when to take his shots. He knew when to take a sack. He knew when to check it down. Like, that's showing maturity, and that's showing progress within, their system and what they want to do. And, if he continues to play like that, I would also say, like, don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. Like, there's already enough pressure playing at UT, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't won in a while. Like, the expectations are always high. And, now that you're in this position, just kind of hone in and be yourself and execute the plays that I call. And you got enough good talent around you, it's going to be all right.
Well, and it's kind of interesting because I know that Ewers has talked about that, some of the mental pressure that he felt last year, and it kind of led to him maybe pushing a bit or feeling a bit uncomfortable at other times. But that last part, you talk about the talent around him, something that me and Aaron have talked a lot about on Snaps last year, and it's something that, like, I know sounds obvious to y'all too, with y'all's QB experience, but I don't know if the general public really appreciates it, is just how much having elite weapons helps, right? Because we always think about quarterbacks elevating everybody else, and we don't think about that kind of going back into the quarterback. Like, just like, to what extent does it help you reach that next level at QB when you have guys like A.D. Mitchell and everybody else there on the outside, and the trio of running backs and the great offensive line?
Oh, it helps tremendously. Like Aaron can vouch for that. Like you have guys who are going to win their matchups. You know, you feel pretty good about playing quarterback. And again, you know, on top of that, like, you know, Sark's expertise is calling plays, right? He gets matchups, he finds mismatches. Like, you know where you're going with the football a lot of times before you get the ball in your hand, right? And so I think a combination of all that, I think Texas is in a good spot, and they just have to understand that the target's on their back now. You've sort of hit that mark that you wanted to be when you all the things that you talked about last year and in the off season and going into this year and finishing in the fourth quarter. Like, they did that on national TV in a big moment, and you know you're going to get everybody's best shot from here on out.
So obviously Texas is going to the SEC, and I think there was some worry of, is Texas ready to compete in the SEC? Well, you went into a place that only one team has won out of the past 53 times in Tuscaloosa, and you beat Nick Saban and Alabama in their home. Is there more of a sense of confidence now from the Texas faithful that, hey, we are ready to move to the SEC? We are ready to play in this league come next year?
You know, I think Texas, like, the expectations are so high. Doesn't matter the season, when the talent, like, everybody wants to win, and so people are always on the bandwagon. But I would say that people who may have doubted, I think they probably jumped on the bandwagon at this point. You know, like,
T-Bob.
What? Like, what? What are we even talking about? Who could that be? I don't know. I mean, look. I
well,
just
you're talking about somebody in your office.
yeah, look.
Yeah.
I just wanted to challenge Texas to be great. Okay, I just wanted to challenge, and you know what? They did it. And if I got to accept blowback for that, you're welcome.
I would think that I would think there's a lot of people in your position. Like, look,
I would
Texas
say
has
so,
always
yes.
had talent. Like, when are they gonna figure this out? And I think you saw, like, from a team building perspective and from a goals perspective and from like a culture perspective, the things that Sark has been building over the last 3 years, you know, I think that he's like, I told y'all, you bought in. Like, now we got to do that every week. That's the expectation.
Hey, Colt, T-Bob also crowned Miami dead, and they'll never be relevant ever again. So he single-handedly motivated two mega brands back to life this weekend. It's amazing what one man can do. Amazing what one man can do.
Aaron, you literally said A&M was going to smash Miami by double digits.
But I never said the Miami brand was dead. I never said Miami brand was dead.
Look, man, take a lot of shots.
Is the A&M brand dead?
I mean, I'll let you answer that. You're in the state.
Yeah,
is A&M dead with Texas rolling and Texas joining the SEC? Is A&M's chances of ever having that mega big step, is that in the rearview mirror?
I mean, I don't know what step you're talking about, but I would say that A&M is not dead. They're a great program. Like, highly respect Jimbo Fisher. I think that, you know, all I care about is bringing that game back and us going to the SEC and having the opportunity to play the Aggies again, home or away. Like, that's just a great game that was one of my favorites in college. And I'm so thankful that we made that move and we get that game back. Like, that was the biggest deal to me. I love it.
Hell yeah. I'd say this on A&M, Colt. A&M will never be they're never that far away, right? Because they have all the natural resources, everything else.
Right.
I am willing to declare the Jimbo era dead. I don't know. Is that a step too far? I just, like, we're going through all the numbers and there's really nothing to hang your hat on. And it's like a pretty big sample size. Like, even if you combined end of Jimbo at Florida State into his time at A&M without Mike Elko, so I don't know. You know,
I feel like they've just, for years and years, just been like a quarterback away, to be honest.
I feel like they're just like the kind of the head man away. They're surfing a little Bear Bryant curse. But don't worry, guys. It only takes $150 million to flip over the whole staff. So, like, I mean, that's chump change. Come on, you little poor boys, you Aggies, make it happen. Colt, what is the?
Oh, that's funny.
What is? Somebody did send me that today. It's not just Jimbo's buyout with the assistants factored in. We're talking probably to hire new staff like 150 million price tag. Colt. So, like you said,
I'm available. I'm just saying.
What we talked about earlier, though, sustainable was the thing that kept coming to my mind watching Texas. Like, these are things that can carry forward into every game this season against every opponent. So then, what becomes the ceiling for Texas after going into T-Town and winning by 10?
Yeah, I think that's a great word, sustainable. I think, I don't, this is just me talking. Like, I don't think there's really anything outside of the Oklahoma game that's going to, like, surprise us. Or like, that game is always circled. So even if you both, Oklahoma and Texas, are 0-5 heading into that game, it's still going to be a good game. Like, that's still a rivalry, and that could go either way. But I just think the Big 12 in general is down this year, right? Yeah. But you can't sleepwalk into any of these games, right? Baylor's 90 miles away, right? Like, that's going to be a good game. Like, you got to be prepared for those. And so for Texas, like we talked about earlier, just understanding that, what you've built now you have everything that you would ever want right in front of you, right? You got the Big 12 championship in front of you. You got maybe a spot in the college football playoffs in front of you. You're a top 5 team. Like, you just did something on Saturday night that not many teams have done in a long time, right? Everybody's watching you. So how do you respond? How do you sustain, what you've built so far? And I think that's a task for Sark and his staff. But I also think it's a task for Quinn and the football team, and saying, like, no, this is the expectation. This is who we are. Let's play like this every week. And if they do that, like, it's easier said than done, but they got a true shot at doing something pretty special.
How's the mini retirement right now? Any itch to get back on the football field? Are you enjoying the golf course?
I've been taking my kids to school every morning. Nice. I went and saw some second opinion doctors on my elbow just to make sure that, I'm as good as I feel. Like, I feel good. So we'll see. Got some options. But it's a nice day here in Phoenix, playing some golf. I guess after I dropped my kids off, I did a little workout, and it's like, what else do you do? What else do you do?
Play golf.
Just go hit some balls. Yeah.
So, dude, it was fascinating. My old man played, QB in the NFL for like 15 years. So I was fascinated to watch him go through that same process, right? Where he'd say, he's like, drops off at school. He's like, he just got super in shape. He just got like an 8-pack. That was his answer to the problem. Last one here. And tell me, like, I don't care if you don't have an opinion, that's fine. But Cole, I don't know how much college football you get to watch on a day-to-day basis. Have you checked in on Shedeur Sanders at all? We've been doing a lot of Shedeur Sanders take 12 years. I'd love to get your longtime NFL vet opinion of how he plays the quarterback position.
Yeah, I watched the TCU game. I didn't get to catch much of the Nebraska game. I just saw highlights. But they are fun to watch. Oh, yeah, my goodness.
Yeah.
Like, they have some skill. Like, they, they're fun to watch. I mean, they're like must-watch TV right now, especially with just Coach Prime and Shedeur and all the little, like, quick, shifty dudes, Travis Hunt. I mean, they're fun to watch. I don't know what's going to happen for them the rest of the season, but, like, I think just off the TCU game, Shedeur, like, played at an elite level. Like, he made some throws down the field when he needed to. He stayed ahead of the chains. He knew when it was quick game and when to get completions. They got him out of the pocket a few times, pushed the ball down the field. Like, I just thought he was super efficient. If he plays that way, they're going to be hard to beat. I don't know how good their offensive line is. But his accuracy on deep balls, that jumped out to me. I mean, I haven't really talked about it. Nobody's really asked you about that, but I would just say that I've been very impressed. And, for a guy to come in and do that, like, against a team that was just in the national championship on the road, like, that's not easy. And so that automatically earns you a lot of respect when you're talking about quarterback play across the country. And hopefully he can continue, because they are a fun team to watch.
The legend himself, Colt McCoy, a great week to be a Longhorn. Colt, thank you so much for taking up enough of your time. You're on the golf course. You go have fun, my friend. Here's to whatever comes this fall for you.
Yeah.
We'll be watching and waiting with bated breath. But thank you so much for joining us today, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, Aaron. Thanks for sticking with it and keeping me honest. I knew I was going to get on the show at some point. It just finally worked out.
We always love it. We would love to have you on in the future, man. But I understand golfing, fly fishing, babies.
I was fly fishing
Snaps
last
is
week.
down the list. Trust me, Snaps is down the list. I'd be doing the same thing.
No, it's good. Okay, man. You guys have a good day.
What's up, y'all? T-Bob here from Snaps, your favorite daily college football show. Look, man, I love football season. It's my favorite time of the year. It is a very busy time. Okay. Running around 24/7. I got a bunch of kids now, games on, you got to be studied up, ready for. And look, I don't want to get, I'm on cameras. I want to look good, man. I want to feel confident when I'm going around. Okay. And that is where Factor Meals comes into play. Okay. Factor, America's #1 ready to eat meal kit. We're talking chef prepared, dietitian approved, ready to eat meals that get delivered straight to my door. So it's like, not only do I save time, I eat well. And it's funny, the script says stay on track with your healthy lifestyle, but I'm really trying to do that, y'all. You know, I've been doing things like intermittent fasting, you know, counting macros. And that's not to say that this is for you. Whatever, what it is to say is that if any of that sounds interesting, or if you just want to feel better in general, eat a little healthier, Factor makes it so incredibly easy. And for how many of us has that kind of barrier of entry been the problem, right? Either maybe it's monetarily, maybe it is just simply a time thing, maybe it's a skill thing. I don't know how to make all this stuff. Well, guess what? Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. 2 minutes, y'all. All you do is heat and enjoy, and then you get back to crushing your goals. And look, you get to choose from 34 weekly flavor packed, dietitian approved meals. It's just incredible, man. And then things like Gourmet Plus, right? Where everything just gets taken to the next level. You get upscale meals with premium ingredients like broccolini, leeks, truffle butter, and asparagus. So let's look, whether you're counting calories, just general healthy, just pure time. Let's all be better this fall. Let's accomplish our goals, become who we want to be, and let Factor be a small part of making that happen. Okay. So this September, I'm challenging you to enjoy eating well without any of the hassle. Just simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed deliciousness. Ready in just 2 minutes. No prep, no mess. Head over to factormeals.com/snaps50 and use the code snaps50 to get 50% off. That's snaps50 at factormeals.com/snaps50 to get 50% off your first order. You're welcome. Trust me, shout out Factor. Very excited. Thank you for helping me accomplish my goals this football season. Hey, and welcome back. Wow. Dude, that was a lot of fun sitting down with Colt. I would love to do that again. The retired quarterback life seems pretty tight. You know, semi-retired. We don't know. It sounded like maybe he's got a little something coming up.
See if the Jets call. We'll see.
Yeah. But the semi-retired life of a quarterback, very nice. All right, Aaron, let's wrap up the show today like we do every Wednesday, which feels a little xenophobic, a little regional, but with some SEC power rankings. That's right, dude. We're going to give you our power rankings through 2 weeks. Has anybody played anybody? Not really, but we'll do it anyway. Number 1 on the list remains Georgia. Obviously, yes. Immediately at 2, though, things become interesting.
I get LSU.
Is it still Alabama? So you still got LSU, even though we're sitting here talking pre-show, and I think LSU is going to smash Mississippi State. I was so unimpressed with what Zach Arnett has done in that Mississippi State offense. You're sitting here saying, "Oh, but LSU is going to get run about." You know what? And look, I love Woody, the running back, but you're still going LSU too.
I'm going LSU at 2. Can you just please let Harold Perkins? Even last week, he was playing so much nickel.
He's going to be. That's going to be him, though. He's going to be Nickel Sam. He's going to be Nickel Sam. I know.
Just drives me crazy, man. No TFLs to start the year off for 2 games for him.
So I'm making a call. I'm going to save a lot of it for tomorrow's show, but he's going to be huge this game. I don't know if he's going to get a sack because apparently Mississippi State doesn't fucking throw the ball anymore. So I don't know how many opportunities he gets.
Makes me so happy.
I know you're on a bit of a heater. So all of a sudden your Will Rogers take looks really good, because Mississippi State's new offense makes Will Rogers look bad. Like he looks so pedestrian now compared to how he used to.
On the SEC records for a quarterback and know how to play the position, but no one wants to believe me.
My God, dude.
Just gonna throw it out there.
I cannot.
Just gonna throw it out there.
Then, dude, I won't even hammer you on A&M. I'll wait for you to be wrong next time, and we'll hammer that. Yeah, you definitely had A&M.
All right, so we put LSU 2, Alabama 3.
Yeah, obviously. And then it gets
4?
really weird. Yeah, because they got the Tulane win, but sure. It's almost like a what do you call it? Not by design. I don't know. Whatever. The remainder, the leftover. I don't know. Fuck it. Ole Miss gets in there because they haven't done anything to fuck it up yet. Not necessarily because I believe in them.
All right, Ole Miss 4, Tennessee 5. This is when from here on out, the SEC does just stink this year. I mean, it's been awful. It was
Tennessee
very hard.
5.
It was very hard for me to do this 14 because I'm just like, man, I feel bad putting them there, and I feel bad with like a lot of these teams where I put them because I'm like, God, they shouldn't deserve to be there, but everyone else is so bad that it just falls the way it falls. So yeah, Tennessee at 5.
I kind of got like after we get past Tennessee, I kind of lose the stomach for the fight. Like it's just kind of a big pile of shit afterwards. Like you want to tell me that Arkansas is better than South Carolina? Sure. You want to put Mizzou up there? Oh, have fun. I don't care. So okay. So who you got after Tennessee?
A&M. I still believe in the offense. At least I know they can score points. Kentucky has not been impressive on defense, and Kentucky has not been impressive on offense at all. Yeah, they've been very just like Devin Leary. I think there's a lot there, but I haven't seen it. Like
I can't believe that you finally convinced me to get back. Like I have been a doubt Kentucky every year, boy, and I've made a lot of headway.
I think they still have a chance.
And you finally sucked me back in, and now they suck.
They have a chance still. They're undefeated, so let's not go crazy yet. But they just have not looked good to start the season.
No, I mean I'm looking around. It feels weird putting A&M there after Miami just handles him, but. Who are you going to put over them? You're not going to put Auburn. Arkansas?
You're not going to put Arkansas. No.
How's Arkansas look
Mississippi State?
No.
All
right.
6.
Texas A&M it is.
I had Kentucky 7.
Yeah.
I'm just going to roll through Mike because I feel like you're going to say yes.
Bro, I don't give I feel bad. I know this
Arkansas 8. Arkansas 8. Mississippi State 9. Missouri 10. Anything you would change there?
I was pretty unimpressed with Mississippi State film. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I was too.
I don't think Arizona looked any good. I feel like me picking Mississippi State to finish.
Did you watch Missouri versus who did Missouri play this past week? I'm drawing a blank right now. Same team Alabama faced in week 1.
Let me see. I got
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Oh my God, they barely won. Yeah. No. Okay. So, but you only did 10. We're not going the full 14 here.
No, we are. I'm just saying, like, there's anyone else that you would have rather in the top 10.
I think
from there I have.
You mean South Carolina?
God, no.
South Carolina's not ahead of Mississippi State, you don't think, with Spencer Rattler?
Yeah, but they got blown. They're going to be 1-2 after this weekend. They're going to be 1-2.
Yeah, but this isn't really like, but what? I don't want to punish.
I know they got smoked.
The
they got smoked versus North Carolina. They gave up 9 sacks.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is like North Carolina is like a good football team, though. Like I'm not going to punish them for playing a good football team.
Giving up 9 sacks?
They
give up 9 sacks. I am going to punish them.
Southeastern Louisiana.
For giving up 9 sacks, I will punish you.
Okay, so A&M, who's after, and then you Kentucky, and then who's after Kentucky? You said
Arkansas 8, Mississippi State 9, Missouri 10, and then I have Auburn, South Carolina, Vandy, Florida.
Okay, so I got no problem with Vandy, Florida at the bottom. I think I would bump Mississippi. I would switch South Carolina and Mississippi State.
So you went South Carolina at 9?
Yep.
9?
Yep.
All right. Since you haven't had as much input on this list, I'll give it to you. I disagree, but I'll give it to you.
And I don't care if you want to put like where you want to do Mizzou, Auburn, Mississippi State. It's just all kind of one big bag. But I don't know, man. Like you said, Spencer Rattler's played really well.
He has played very well.
Like Beamer's gonna have the special teams role, and like they'll be okay. They'll be okay. Not this weekend, but they'll be. I don't know. I don't get why Zach Arnett when they brought in Kevin Barbay from App State, I mean, I thought it's going to not be the air raid. It'll change. But I did not expect him to go just full pro style offense. Like it's actually insane to me. What do we always talk about? The style of offense that they're trying to run is so talent dependent. You just have to be better than the other people. Now, if you are better than the other people, it leads to like the ability to just really control a game, to like take the game by the throat, throttle it. You can kind of do whatever you want. But it's not like some of these spread attacks where, yeah, maybe they have a bit of a glass ceiling, but they allow you to punch up. They make up for your talent deficiencies.
So what they're doing on offense is what I thought Alabama was going to do this year. Like, is that not what Alabama was supposed to be doing?
Yeah. Like, which exactly is that not insane by Arnett? Because their offensive line is not that good. Woody is awesome. The running back's really good.
Woody's awesome. But that's what I'm saying. Like Alabama, just go do that. Like you said, like you could choke people out doing that. Like put in a quarterback that's not going to turn over, similar to what we're seeing from Mississippi State, and then just run the ball and play good defense.
Yeah. So I guess my problem with Mississippi State is like they're doing that, but without,
being Alabama,
the talent. Yeah. Arnett, what are you doing? You can't trust a defensive head coach, dude. You know, they always want to do this stupid shit. Speaking of Tua, look what happened to him when he finally got with an offensive guy. Everybody's ready to declare him dead under Flores. Look at him and McDaniel now out here thriving.
We also have the best receivers in the NFL. All right, so here's our SEC power rankings for snaps. Georgia 1, LSU, Alabama, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas A&M at 6, Kentucky at 7, Arkansas 8, South Carolina 9, Missouri 10, Auburn 11, Mississippi State 12, Vandy 13, Florida back at the back of the pack at 14.
There you go. That's it. Another Snaps SEC power ranking. And that'll do it for today's show. A massive thank you to everyone who hangs out with us every day here on Snaps. A huge thank you to Colt McCoy for joining us. A huge thank you to our excellent team here at Snaps. Pat Gunther, Ryan Brumley, Chris Tran, Adam Gracia, Danny Cardenas. And the biggest thank you to all of you who listen and hang out and do the annoying stuff like liking and subscribing and reviewing and pestering your friends with it. So please, please, please continue to do so. We love doing this. It's so much fun, man. And we love college football. Coming up on tomorrow's show, we will, as we do every Thursday, we will preview the biggest games of the weekend, just talking about the actual football. And we got some gambling stuff coming as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So remember, here on Snaps, every day, pods go up, YouTube channel filled with content. We go live on YouTube on the weekend sometimes and on Mondays. And then every other day, you catch us on AMP, 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central. Share the word, my friends. I hope you all have an excellent day. I'm going to go back to getting fucked in my mentions. I'll see you tomorrow on a brand new episode of Snaps.